The next postgame show is presented by Tri-State Audi. Visit your Tri-State area Audi dealer today. Tonight against Dallas, rookie Cooper Flagg, his first NBA game at MSG, went for 18 points. Max Christie, another opponent doing the Knicks in from downtown. A career-high 8 threes made. A wire-to-wire win for the Mavericks. They led by 28 at the half and win 114-97. Great to have you with us. Bill Pidto along with Alan Hahn. And the thing about the Knicks now is they've lost 9 out of 11 games. They were completely healthy tonight for the first time in weeks. And the opponent, the Dallas Mavericks, a headline concerning them, all the injuries, and it didn't matter.
Yeah, well, it doesn't matter when you don't come out with the right attitude, intensity, physicality, all the things that you need to do to win a basketball game at home against a team that is depleted. The Knicks didn't do that. The Knicks did not play the way we saw them play Saturday night against the Phoenix Suns. You did not see that kind of resistance physically, defensively early in the game. And it doesn't matter what the name on the back is. If you are left open, if you are left to get easy shots, you get into rhythm, you're going to start feeling good. That Dallas bench, I was sitting right next to it, they were feeling good in that first quarter. The Knicks did not start this game out the way they needed to. They should have been a desperate team. They didn't play like one. Second half they did, but it was too little too late. All
right, Alan, let's bring in Wally Szczerbiak. He helped call the game on the radio on ESPN New York. The Knicks began the night, Wally, 0 for 10 from downtown, and it seemed again to set the stage for the other aspects of their game not being up to par.
32-4, fast break points.
Yeah, that's it.
This team was coming off 144 and 138 against Utah. They want to run. They want to play with pace. They want to push the ball right down your throat. Knicks weren't making shots. Long shots lead to long rebounds, which led to easy threes on the other end of the floor. Max Christie was wide open most of the time. The easiest threes in the game of basketball are in transition. You just run to the three-point line, you spot up, the defense is all scrambled, they're all messed up, they can't get out there to contest, and the Knicks were just getting lit up on plays like that. I think what's happening right now to this team is Mike Brown wanted them to play faster, which, yes, that's the way most NBA teams want to play. They want to play with pace. They want to play quick. They want extra possessions. The Knicks are an elite offensive team. But if you want to play fast, you better have young, fresh legs. Because right now, the Knicks look tired. And the more possessions and the faster they play, it looks like these young teams, they can't keep up with the athleticism and especially the length that Dallas had at every single position.
Mavericks got Max Christie guys in the trade for Luka Doncic, and he has shown some signs of really being a really solid player. Today's thrilling moment brought to you by FanDuel Casino. Get your thrill on. His career high, Allen, in terms of threes made before tonight was 5. As I mentioned off the top, he made 8. He went 8 out of 10 from downtown.
Yeah, he already beat his career high in the first half. You know, the Knicks have this tendency to do this. A guy gets hot, and they don't recognize it, and they help off him, and they leave him open. That's not good defense. Like these are not defended shots. Look, he's wide open. At some point, and we've seen it. We saw it with Champagnie in San Antonio. We have seen it in Moses Moody in Golden State. There we go. There's your list. This is all you need to know.
Since the NBA Cup final,
when someone is making threes, at some point, somebody has to say, I'm taking him out. I'm getting him off rhythm. And you guys are going to have to play 4-on-4 for a while so he doesn't beat us. The Knicks never seem to recognize this. It has become a problem on many nights, and tonight it was for Max Christie.
Yeah, he was outstanding. He's an athletic wing defender. This guy can really defend the basketball. That's why he was the guy that Dallas really wanted in that trade with Luka Doncic, when he was the piece that they felt was going to get them over the top with his defensive abilities. And then offensively, the way he shot the ball, the way he has great length and positional size, a lot like OG Anunoby. Those kind of guys are really, really valuable. And boy, was he locked in. I mean, he didn't hit the rim on most of his threes.
Yeah, but Wally, wouldn't you not hit the rim if there was not a hand in your face, if you were just catching in rhythm?
That's a good point. But what did the Knicks shoot in the fourth quarter in the last game? They were 1 for 10 on wide open threes.
That's right.
You got to make your shots in the NBA. This is just not like you walk in and you just because you've got New York across your chest and you're supposed to be a championship favorite. You got to be a skill team. The skilled players who make shots and shoot efficiently, they're the ones that win. And tonight, Najee Marshall got anything he wanted in the mid-range.
Yep.
Anytime he walked into the 8-foot, 10-foot range, he shot that little floater over smaller defenders. And that's the problem. The Knicks sometimes, they're a little small at some positions. And teams that have good length have caused the Knicks a lot of problems. This guy, you alluded to it, Alan, he is a Knick killer, and he was a Knick killer tonight. In that first half, 45 points in the second quarter, 75 points in the half. These guys were just running roughshod, doing absolutely whatever they wanted on the Garden floor. And it was a sight to see. I did not expect this with a full complement of Knicks players healthy. But at the same time, the Knicks have to learn as a team, as individuals, if you don't play at an elite high level, you are not winning NBA basketball games no matter who is coming into this building. There you go, 26 points last 4 games.
He loves playing the Knicks, Wally. He loves it.
He looks like an all-star when he plays against the Knicks. And this team came in with a lot of focus. They played hard. They played fast. But they've won 3 out of 4, this Dallas team. They've won 2 straight, scoring 138 and 144. So I'm sure the Knicks coaching staff told the team, guys, you can't just walk over this team. They're going to come in here. They're going to try to run the ball down our throats. And initially, I saw the Knicks getting to play a little tight and nervous. And that's the first time I've seen it. They're going to have to get that out of their system. They're going to have to start playing more free, because now the pressure, the boos, it's starting to hit. This is a veteran team that should know how to react for that type of stuff, and they better bounce back quick against their crosstown rivals, the Nets.
And by the way, the Mavericks have been in town for the last 3 days. I mean, they got here on Saturday. They've been here for a couple of days. They've gotten comfortable here. So, this is a team. This is the only trip. They go back now. They came here for a couple of days. They've enjoyed New York City, and they had themselves a day here, MLK Day, at Madison Square Garden. And when you said, Wally, about how they're starting to feel it, right? And the transition defense was a major problem early. Why? They missed their shots early. They missed their threes. They were 0 for their first 10. They were not making shots early in the game, and it was not that same intensity. This has been talked about with this group for the last year. Even into last season, it was talked about, and Mike Brown's talked about it. You miss a shot, it can't affect your ability to run back hard and defend at the other end, and that seems to happen. It definitely happened early in this game.
No question. And the long shots, if you don't make them, they lead to long rebounds that bounce out to the free throw line or sometimes the three-point line, and that is just like an outlet pass to get your fast break started. And you could see it. Dallas has a bunch of guys going to initiate the fast break. Cooper Flagg is like a point forward.
There you go. Long
rebounds. They lead to already at half court, and it's a 2-on-1, 3-on-1 situation. And these are the type of the things that the Knicks cannot set their defense. At some point, the coaching staff, they're going to have to evaluate whether the Knicks can keep up with playing this fast of a pace with other teams, because the Knicks were constructed as an elite half-court team. When you get the Jalen Brunson into the half-court, Towns is a good half-court player. They have good length as far as wing defenders when they can set their defense. But they have no ability to set their defense right now, because teams are just flying up and down the floor, and they're getting shots up before the Knicks can set up their shell defense and use their length and their elite wing defenders.
Now, how come we haven't seen that until most recently here? Where was this early in the season? The Knicks were shooting better from 3 and weren't giving up the long rebounds? Is that why all of a sudden this has become a problem, as we just showed, basically since the NBA Cup?
We saw this coming, because even when the Knicks were still putting up 123 points a game, they were giving up more and more. Remember, their defensive rating was still middle of the pack. They really were never a top 10 defense, and a lot of it had to do transition. They were losing guys in transition, but their offense was humming so well that like they were just outscoring other teams, basically outscoring their own defense. But what Wally said there is definitely going to be the elephant in the room to talk about, is like style of play versus the players you have, and what really fits and what really is the best way to play. And that's going to be happen to be discussions. Mike Brown said after the game on Saturday that there is concern, but there's no reason to overhaul everything. But the more you see that kind of an effort and that kind of like a team that this is a competitive team. They know how to play hard. But when it looks like this, you do have to start reconsidering things that you're doing with the group.
Wally, when you played for Mike Brown, did you play this way philosophically, or what kind of strategy did you guys use on offense? It wasn't like this, right?
Well, it's all about the personnel. We had elite bigs in Zydrunas Ilgauskas and Ben Wallace, so we were the number 2 team defensively in the whole entire league. LeBron, at that age, he was an elite defender. He could play the 4, the 5, the 3. You know, he was just an incredible athlete, so he was a great defender. And then we were an outstanding three-point shooting team. We wanted to get stops, and we were good defensively, so then we could run the ball down other teams' throats. Right now, the Knicks aren't getting stops.
Yeah.
Part of the reason why is there's definitely fatigue. These are the dog days. This is a veteran team. You know, they're not aging, but at the same time, they look tired out there, and they look like they can't keep up with the way some of these teams are running. And these Western Conference teams who have been pretty tough on the Knicks the last couple weeks, these teams love to score, they love to run, and they love to play fast. And this is how Mike Brown coached last year and years past with Golden State and with the Sacramento Kings. At the same time, though, if you're going to play a fast pace, you're going to allow the other team to get into rhythm. The more pace you play with, the more possessions. The more possessions, you better be making your threes at a high clip, because you're going to allow the other team to get into a rhythm and make their threes at a high clip.
So they got one more game. They got a game Wednesday, and then they get 2 days off at home, and then they get a game in Philly, and then they get 2 more days off at home. Like, this right now is a critical stretch with 4 days of practice that you can get in and see if you can get things right.
All right, Alan, we'll see your work in the locker room. Wally, you'll be with me here coming up. But up next, we have the MSG 150. Lots of games on this Martin Luther King Day, including SGA and OKC in action. Highlights next on the MSG 150. Wembayama, what do you have?
The Knicks postgame show is presented by Audi. Visit your Tri-State Audi dealer today.
Welcome back, everyone, as the Mavericks beat the Knicks tonight 114-97. Back in the studio here with Wally, and one of the bright spots, how about Mitchell Robinson? Man, especially in the first half, he finished the night with 12 points and 15 rebounds. Season high for the year in terms of rebounds per game. For a game is 16. He came close to that tonight.
He was outstanding. When he came in the game early, it was like 6 minutes ago in the first quarter, he kind of changed the energy in the building. He caught 3 lobs in the first half with just going to the basket with ferocity, rolling hard, blocking shots, getting offensive rebounds. That type of energy is infectious. You know, the Knicks were missing a lot of shots. So if you're going to miss a lot of shots, Mitchell Robinson is going to be able to be under the basket cleaning up a lot of that mess. So that was a great sign to see him play at the level he's playing. Obviously, Mike Brown is managing when to get him out on the floor with Towns, when to have Towns get his rest. But both those guys at the center position, they have totally different skill sets, it seems like. And they bring a lot of stuff to the table. So that's great to see Mitchell Robinson playing some of the best basketball, I think, of his career and being really healthy this whole entire season.
Did all that in 18 minutes and 48 seconds of playing time. Mike Brown's post-game comments coming up. Knicks are now 25-18 after losing tonight to the Mavericks, 114-97. Stay with us, everybody. Welcome back, everyone, as the Mavs tonight beat the Knicks 114-97. We continue now from the corner 3, presented by Michelob Ultra Superior Light Beer. Next up for the Knicks, they'll play host to the Nets on Wednesday. Pre-game show here at 7, with the game coming away at 7:30. Let us now listen into the post-game comments from Knicks coach Mike Brown, as always, presented by Chase.
Bottom line is we gotta lock in. We gotta do our job for 48 minutes. They scored 75 points in the first half. And at halftime, you know, we usually do the clips and talk about technical X's and O's and all that, you know, crap that coaches do and teams do. There was nothing to be said at halftime except for lock in and do your fucking, excuse me on that, do your job. They scored 28 points in the paint the first half without a post-up player. I told them 3 things. 28 points in the paint. We got to put our chest on the ball and stop the ball from getting downhill into the paint, which we did in the second half. They had 16 points in the paint. They had 27 fast break points in the first half. 27. On track for 54. They had 7 in the second half. And the last thing that I talked about with them, their hot guys were 9 for 11, I think, in the first half from the three-point line. The two guys that we labeled hot. And we know how to close out to hot guys. We know how to play hot guys. They were 9 for 11 in the first half. And most of those threes were open, or we left our feet before they shot the ball, and then they were open. In the second half, they only got 6 off. They were 3 for 6. The 3 areas that we talked about, no X's and O's. Just do your job. Play with physicality and do your job early. The whole second half, they scored 39 points. The second quarter, they scored 44 points. Again, no adjustments, just go do your job. So it's within our guys. But we all have to do our job for 48 minutes. And it didn't happen tonight, and it was evident. Doesn't matter who's in the uniform in front of you. You got to do your job.
Why do you think you didn't get that in the first half?
Not sure.
Mike, these are things you've talked about Saturday game. I think you said that was the worst of the season. Is there something you feel?
I'm okay. I'm not okay with it, but the sack, I've been in this league long enough. You're going to have a game where you lay an egg, and we laid an egg. We didn't do anything right on both ends. I thought tonight, actually, both halves, we tried to play the right way for the most part offensively. I think we missed more layups, and we lost the ball more than I've seen since I've been here. So I thought offensively, the shots, we also, in the first half, we had great looks that normally go in from the right people that didn't go in. So I'll take the flow on the offense end of the floor tonight for close to 48 minutes. What bothers me is those 3 areas in the first half, and in the second half, with no change at all, in terms of X's and O's, we go and we do what we're supposed to do. That's the part that bothers me. Go ahead.
I was going to say, is that frustrating that with a veteran team, experienced team that's been there?
It's frustrating. It's frustrating to me. It's frustrating to every person in that locker room. And we all can't get it back by thinking we're going to go score or go get this many shots. We have to embrace doing the little things, and right now we're not.
Are you still fairly confident that collection, that group can pull you guys?
Yeah, no. There's no doubt in my mind. I believe in everybody in that locker room. And, you can ask them, but I feel they believe in each other too. We're going through it. We got to figure out how to get out of it.
Coach, you guys have lost. What buttons you might need to press to get this team back on track?
Yeah, I got some idea.
Can you, share?
No, I got some idea what I'm gonna do.
Hey, Mike, there was some loud news tonight, maybe the loudest to me since Jalen's been here. What would you say to the fan that has watched you guys the last 11 games and is concerned, especially coming off last year when they met that run? What would your message be to that person?
No, and I've answered this before. Really, I'm okay with the boos. If we're playing crappy, better word than the F word that I used earlier, but if we're playing crappy, boo. If I was in the stands, I'd probably boo too. You pay hard money to come to the game, and this is a form of entertainment for the fans. They know good basketball, they know bad basketball, and we didn't play good basketball in the first half. And so, I'm okay with the boos.
How do you think Josh looked out there today?
I thought Josh was fine. Obviously, picking up, getting into foul trouble. We couldn't keep him on the floor, but he tried to bring a level of physicality. I thought he stepped up and took the right shots, and he made a few, especially in the second half. So I thought he was fine.
Coach, pregame you talked about your analytics, that you didn't have the combination of guys to actually see how they play. So Tonight you primarily played 9. Jordan only played 2 minutes, so you really went with 8 until the last 2 minutes. So Was this indication of what the combination of players you were trying to get on the court at the same time?
Yeah, and I don't know, there are different combinations that we haven't had this year. And, my biggest goal, I got a range of minutes that I'd like guys to play. And, with these 8.5 to 9 guys, it's hard to get them to that range by playing many more guys. And so I got to keep messing around with it and make sure that it fits seamlessly with the group to help them with flow on the floor on both ends. All right. Thank you, guys.
Coach seems to be encouraged by what he saw in the second half.
Yes.
Dallas scored only 39 second-half points. They scored 44 alone in the second quarter.
That just sums it up. And Coach is a no-nonsense guy. He's going to lay it all out there for the locker room. He kind of called out the guys. Guys got to figure it out. He believes in the players. I know the players believe in themselves. They're going through a really tough time right now. It's a good thing they're doing it now in January. There's a lot of time to correct this and figure it out. We've seen what their potential is, NBA Cup champions and a 20-7 start. But they better get back to doing what they were doing early on in the season. And it starts with the defensive end of the floor taking it personal when guys are blowing by them.
We'll hear what Josh Hart has to say when we come back right after this. Hart back from the ankle injuries, missed 9 of the last 12 games before tonight, but started tonight. His comments coming up.
The Knicks postgame show is presented by Audi. Visit your Tri-State Audi dealer today.
Dallas beats the Knicks. Josh Hart back from the ankle problem, 8 points and 6 rebounds. Here he is in the postgame locker room.
I think effort, the sense of urgency, physicality, all those things that when I bring it. And, in this league, if you don't do that, you're going to lose.
It looked like you guys brought it in the second half more so than the first. Just, I guess, why do you think you guys weren't able to have that type of effort in the first half?
I don't know why. Of course I did. I think we have to have a better sense of urgency. We have to, all of us, figure out what we need to do to get ready. And we got to go out there and execute.
Has this team talked as a group about this slide? And maybe if not, is it time?
No, we talked a little bit, but, I think we all need to do, some soul searching, some looking in the mirror and figuring out what we're going to do individually, what we're going to do as a team, what our identity is. Because right now, it's when we're playing embarrassing basketball, we're not executing on the offensive end. Defensively, we've been abysmal. We've really been, terrible defensively all year. At some point, we have to look in the mirror and realize no one out here is feeling sorry for us. We have enough. We've shown that, and we have to figure out, how to get that sense of urgency.
In your estimation?
We'll be back with more after this as Dallas beats the Knicks 114-97. As we wrap up the postgame show, I want to remind everyone the John Harbaugh introductory press conference. He's a new head coach of the Giants. You can watch it here tomorrow at noon. Next Knicks game is Wednesday against the Nets. Want more than just a postgame show? Link your eligible TV subscription to stream Knicks games free or subscribe today in the Gotham Sports app. Just go to gothamsports.tv to learn more.